Next Step Leadership Leadercast. Today we're going to talk about leadership and entrepreneurship. And it's important for me to talk about the wide lens of what leadership looks like. So in February we were talking to Chef Nikki, who was working in a prison to help end-of-sentence individuals gain a certificate and credential and make a difference as they look to get back into society and working on their lives. And in April, we sat down with Dr. Dan Pepe from Baylor University, who within a week after the interview had a national finding and hit the news and did a lot of things. Congratulations, Dan. Today, we have Joe Gaske and Buxom Gusher are here today to hang out with me, and we are going to talk about a very wide pendulum of entrepreneurship and what that looks like. In one realm, we have metalworks and welding, and in the other, we have sex work and clothing and apparel and entrepreneurship in 2 to 3 different wide varieties. Me personally, I have leadership consulting, and that variety comes in the lessons in leadership books and the other ways that we meet and do consulting workshops. And the wildest thing happens when you're at the gym at 4 a.m. You meet some beautiful people with passion. And I kid you not, this idea sparked from us sitting around and having a business meeting completely drenched in sweat, actually asking each other, what makes your business special? What makes your work come to life? And I'm hoping to capture some of that and share that with you from a leadership perspective today. And I have these magic people here to do that and do that. So I'm going to be quiet pretty soon and ask some questions from our viewers. I have a couple of those leadership questions as well. $1 million smiles. We can't go wrong today. I love it. So first up for me is, who is Joe Gaske and who is Buxom Gusher?
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Ladies first.
So Buxom Gusher is a burlesque performer and a sex worker, because who didn't start an OnlyFans in 2020? And I recently started a business called Slut Life Brand with a fellow burlesque performer. So I'm just constantly dipping my toes in anything sex work related and just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Okay. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a welder. I've been a welder for about 13 years now. Amateur strongman, and I took those 2 passions and blended them together and created this business where I build strongman implements and other custom fabrications, all that steel. And it's just been a great ride. It's been meeting a lot of great people in the welding industry and the strongman industry, and getting to mesh both of those have just been a really awesome experience.
So both of you have taken different parts of who you are or what you like and just started to wield them and empowered yourselves to do that. So what are your current goals?
Personally, my burlesque goal is to continue to perform at different venues across North Carolina and then eventually get across the United States.
So if you're out there and you're seeking a burlesque dancer, here we go.
Hire me. You won't be disappointed. And then we just started the Slut Life Brand business, so my big goal for that is to get that to a point where we can do like monthly subscription boxes that will go towards more of strippers and other sex workers, and put items in there that they could use on a daily basis.
Awesome. How about you, Joe?
So just continuing to build my business. I'm in the 2nd year of mine, currently building an actual building to work out of instead of just my garage at home. So pushing that so that I can push more work to more athletes. The goal will be to be able to sponsor and build implements for larger shows, for higher level athletes, but still everybody just like me that's just trying to train and have fun and just push my limits, push my fabrication skills, and build the brand.
Now, with your new shop, will there be like a testing spot too? Like they come and try different things and stuff like that?
At some point there probably will be, but because most of it's, well, all of it's gym equipment, I like to just bring it to the gym and
Sure.
I'll play with it, and then I can have everyone else at the gym play with it and see if they get their feedback, get their
Come
tests
play
and
with
stuff.
us.
Yeah, come play with it. Yeah.
Wait,
Cool, cool.
wait. You gotta watch how you say
That's
that.
another question.
That's right. All right. We had a couple, we have actually about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 viewer questions. So I'm going to ask you those, and we'll kind of go back and forth on that. And I like the format of ladies first, and we'll go to you, Joe. Let's stay with that. Now, this is actually related to the gym and physical fitness. And the question is do you think being consistent in the gym or with your own personal fitness, has it benefited you with your businesses or your brands in some way?
100%. Because burlesque is not easy. It's very physical. I am rolling around on the floor, doing splits, getting in people's faces. So going to the gym and staying active keeps my cardio up. It keeps me flexible. It allows me to do new tricks. So and filming for OnlyFans also, that's like an all-day endeavor. So
Sure.
it takes a lot. So definitely working out not only helps me physically, cardio-wise, but like physically.
Keeps you going. Keeps you
It
limber.
builds the booty.
Yeah, all right, yeah. That's the other part too, is appearance and some of that. Sure. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
Well,
way of life. Huh?
It's a way of life. Yeah, it's literally the whole business is built around the gym.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think when you said, well, it's something that I'm going to bring to the gym,
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Yeah.
that's yes. The answer for Joe is yes.
Yeah,
in
sure.
that way. But you bring a very good point up, like how not only are you taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of your craft, and that's a game changer
Yeah.
when you talk about
Taking
that.
care of the product.
Right,
Exactly.
you are the product.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What is the biggest challenge you have faced as a co-owner, or for you, building the ownership?
Mhm.
So now you also have Slut Life brand. Tell us about what is there any challenges with being the co-owner?
I would say me and my partner work very well together. We communicate very well together. We're on the same page. The biggest challenge, maybe it's more personal, not so much as her, but staying motivated to make sure we're making the post on social media, we're making the new shirts and the new designs and getting it out there. So I would say staying motivated to keep going.
Keeping it fresh. And
Yeah.
Yeah, what I learned the most about what I go through is, did I do a post today?
Yeah.
Oh my, did I get in somebody's visual today? So I'm sure when you start to look at style, color scheme, your cost,
Yeah.
you guys have that kind of conversation. How about for you, Joe?
Yeah, as being the owner, you do it everything. You order the material, you build the pieces that you're fabricating, you do payroll, you have to parts running. So it's finding the time and managing your time efficiently to do each one of those avenues, since it's just you. So if you have to take one day is, okay, I've got to do design, get quotes out. Then the next day is I got to get material, I got to go shop for parts or tools or tooling, and then the next will be building.
What happens when either you are faced with a difference of opinion? So for you, maybe it's a style. For you, it's it doesn't fit right or feel right. What happens when there's a difference of opinion in your day-to-day?
We just talk it out. We actually, if we can visualize it and put it out and see how it looks and go through the pros and cons of what we like and don't like, that's usually, but communication is definitely the biggest goal for us.
Okay.
And as far as difference of opinion, I haven't really had any issues with customers as of today, or stuff not fitting or not functioning properly, but I bounce ideas off my wife, who is kind of like my consultant of everything, and sometimes it's like, well, I don't know about that, but she has a better idea, and then I might not agree with it at the time, and then I usually come around and say, yeah, she was right.
A little pondering.
Yeah.
Of course.
That happens a lot. That happens a
And
lot.
she has the same welding mindset as I do, so it's, and the artist as well, so she thinks of things better at a different lane than I do.
Awesome.
So it really helps. Good teamwork.
Now, what advice would both of you give to somebody who wants to just, you know, get started? I have an idea for a business model, I have an idea for a brand. How would you tell them to get started?
I would say just do it. Whatever comes to your mind as the first step, that's the first step. There's not a right or a wrong way to start. Not starting is the wrong way. So if it's making the Facebook or Instagram, start there. If it's building a logo or design, start there. Whatever comes to you to get you motivated and started, do it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Joe?
Just like what she said, don't what if yourself to death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what if it fails, or what if I don't sell anything, or what if no one finds me? Just put yourself out there. If you're that passionate about it, you'll find a way to make it work.
I wholeheartedly agree. What not many people know is Next Step Leadership started as a question on Facebook in 2011. I literally said, how do you define leadership? And I started to think of what would the logo look like. It's got to have the stairs, and you're 100% correct. Just get started. You start to think about what you're trying to do with your ideas, with your frame. Thank you for that. Now, this is an interesting one. How do you keep your business as business, and how do you keep it separate from your personal? And I think that the conversation changes too, because you just said I am the business. So there's that part. And now, how do you keep your business pieces as business and your personal? And what does that look like for each of you?
I don't think I have a clear answer for that one.
Okay.
To be honest, because I am my business, I am my product. I'm selling me as a dancer, as a performer, and as a brand ambassador. It's in my life, and it's in my husband's life, and he helps me with content, he helps me with editing logos, he helps me with Photoshop to do the Slut Life stuff. So it's in my personal life. I do try to keep it separated from my day job. I don't like to post anything about my work on my social media because I don't need people showing up to my work. But other than that, it's pretty, it's ingrained.
You are woven into the fabric of your branding and your other side of the work that you're doing. So I see how that works. How about for you, Joe?
It's similar for me as well, because what I build is 95% of the time strongman equipment. Well, I'm a strongman athlete.
Sure.
All my friends on Instagram or at shows are all strongman athletes, so it's just me. You know, it's just me all the time, and always get messages. So, but they're from my friends, so it's not like
right. So you're never off.
It's never really off.
You're never. It's never over. You're never off. And I would say to add to that is, oddly, people come to you like you're an expert. Like people come to me, I always try to tell them, like, if you read volume 1, I'm just interpreting. I'm just interpreting what I went through. This is what I saw from leadership and what it looked like. So do you feel that happens to you guys? Like, well, they're like, well, tell me more about OnlyFans, or tell me more about the clothing. Do you buy only Gildan, or whatever it is? Do you go through that? Do you see that where they're like, well, what kind of metal are you using? Or do you guys go through that too?
Absolutely, every day I get a message of, how do you start an OnlyFans? Well, what do you post on there? What kind of burlesque costumes do you buy? What kind of shirts do you buy to press? Every day. Okay, so it's never over. And what we're hearing is, if you are going to be an entrepreneur who's thinking about it, you have to be your own leader. You have to be your brand. You have to live, and I'm learning that too. I have to live Next Step Leadership, and they're teaching me that today also. So if you are thinking about it, great questions, but you do have to start thinking of it that way. Another question that came in, and this one was hard for me to interpret, but I think I know what they're trying to say. So I don't know your ages. I'm not going to ask you to. That's not my style. But they mention a younger generation.
So you interpret whatever you want as a younger generation from the question. And I'm going to ask the question, as entrepreneurs, do you feel like the younger generation is less humble or has a hard time understanding the importance of helping a team, or unless they're getting something, unless they're getting some type of monetary value back, they're not going to do it? And the phrases that came from it is, I don't get paid for that, or I'm not doing that until I get paid, or no one's actually seeing the extra that I'm doing. Do you think that there's pieces of that with whatever you define as the younger generation?
It's a very interesting question. I consider myself part of that younger generation. I'm 32, so I'm a millennial. But I definitely, like, if you're not going to pay me, I'm not doing it.
You're not sure? Yeah. Yeah.
Pay me. I do want to work together as a team, and I think it's possible to work together as a team and build a team, but each team member needs to get something out of it too, whether it's money or promotion or raise or recognition.
Sure.
Not just a pizza party, but like real.
Here's a
$6. Yeah, like
here's some
something
soda.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this Little Caesars isn't cutting it today, but
No.
it's good. It's just not, right.
No.
How about you, Joe?
I agree that, like for me, I didn't go to school and develop my career, my craft to do it for free, of course. Now, I don't mind helping people, of course, but like I can't make a whole bunch of strongman equipment and then just donate it
Yeah.
right away.
Thanks.
Because, right, it's like
6 hours a day or whatever.
I have, hundreds of dollars of material and hundreds of dollars in hours of labor and stuff like that, but also as far as like the younger generation, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But I think it's a or how they were brought up generationally as well. Like I have younger siblings that are still in their teens, like 17 to 20. Now, in my opinion, I'm very proud of all of them because they work really hard. They're great at school. That's how they were raised. I think that could be any generation.
So upbringing also.
Upbringing has a lot to do with like work.
What values you see at home, things of that nature.
Right.
Okay.
If you want to invest in yourself and go the extra mile kind of thing.
Sure.
To eventually be able to where you can say, well, I've developed this, I should be paid for it, and accordingly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I have a follow-up that is completely, just came to my mind. So, what about people who, do you have any expectations that people or friends or people who follow you on your social medias should buy your product, should share your reel or your content, should ask you questions about what you're doing, or do you not take it personal? So I guess it's more of a wide range question of, the reel that you see is, how come you don't share my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. So do you feel that people should celebrate you that way? Because philosophically for Next Step, I want to celebrate both of you. I want to celebrate these hardworking people and look at leadership. And so for me, it's a very different dynamic because it brings this question to play: is how do you feel about people that are close to you that may not share or support you or buy a Slut Life apparel, or may not want to donate metal or come or just post for free, press share? How does that? What does that look like, or how does that feel?
I can see where it would be hard to not have friends that support you that way, but just because they don't share something doesn't mean they don't support you. Just because they don't buy something doesn't mean they don't support you. I like to look at it more as if they do share it or they do buy something, I'm extra appreciative because they didn't have to.
Right.
No one owes me anything. So I appreciate what's done, and I try not to get bitter about what's not done.
Understood. Very cool.
Yeah, the same for me. I don't take it personally, and I don't expect somebody to spend all their hard-earned money on a piece of equipment if they don't necessarily need it just to support me, or if they want to buy a shirt, that's great. If not, that's fine too. And I don't need a monetary example of your support, or just say good job every once in a while if you want to.
Sure.
Sure. Good job. you know, just be there as a friend and that's
Golf
fine.
clap, golf
Yeah,
clap.
yeah. That's it, really.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And I'll add to that. Not everybody's passionate about being a leader or leadership or what managing, what it looks like to manage.
Right.
So I had a long time ago I had to realize is not personal. You know, and then in volume 2, I asked people to share their ideas about leadership. And a lot of people didn't respond or said, yeah, I'll do it, and went ghost.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that I can't take that personal, and it's not what they're into, it's something I'm passionate about. And it takes a while though, because you're like, hey.
Yeah.
What about me?
What's going on? So we have one more from viewers. What kind of efforts have either of you made to foster diversity and diversity understanding? And I did make it a goal to be behind this sweet, colorful picture for us today and this month. So, but in regards to diversity and diversity competence, what do you do to foster that?
I love this question so much. I am a queer, cis female, but we try every show to have a diverse set of bodies, genders, races. We strive to showcase everyone, and for Slut Life, we actually have on the website that it's for everybody. Everybody can be a slut. It's not just for women or just for men or just for white people. It's for everybody, and we are welcoming to everybody, and we are willing to listen and educate ourselves and be better every day.
Awesome. That's really thoughtful. Thank you. Yeah. I love it. I see you just lit up, and I'm like, yeah. How about you, Joe? What do you got over there for diversity?
Mine's a little different, you know.
That's what I love.
Yeah,
that's
mine's
what
a
I
little
want.
different, but I don't really do anything specific like that other than I just treat everyone the same kind of thing. I don't have like I only build stuff for white people. You know, it's not like that. Everyone's welcome. The only color I care about is green. So, yeah, just treat everybody equal. That's all you gotta do.
I've seen that. I've seen that in the gym. We're all hugging each other. It's 4 a.m. sweaty, and we've lost our minds. And people see you do something like a feat. Actually, both of you, and come over and be that way. It has nothing to do with creed, sexuality, color. It has everything to do with we are all just trying to work on our physical health, emotional health, and it's so it's peaceful to come to a place where people smile to see you. Yeah. You know,
at 4 in the morning.
At 4 in the morning, right? So those were our viewer-specific questions. Did one stick out that you both kind of agree is one of the better questions that you got from our viewers? That's my question to you, because that person, I'll have to go back and look through all my social medias and find out who it was. They get choice of free swag. Did anybody catch your eye? Because there's backpacks, there's water bottles, there's coffee mugs, there's books. Whew, there's new black shirts over there. I'll put some out later. Did any questions stand out though?
Well, personally, I just like the basic of just how did you get started? Because that's someone who's interested in getting started, and we need more small businesses, entrepreneurs in the world. Anyway, so
okay. How'd you get started? How about you?
I would 100% agree with that, because I feel like that's the scariest step. So
that is what brought us together. Is what makes you different? What makes you? What's making you start this? What's making you get successful? That's what brought us together. So I'll find you. And come get you. All right. Next step questions. I got a couple of those here for you. What are you reading right now? So this is homework for people if they want to learn about what your style is, what your entrepreneurial builds are. What are you reading? What's on your Kindle? What's on your nightstand? Some people prefer the paperback or the hard copy. Some people prefer their entire library on their Kindle. Yeah. What are you reading right now?
This is a very loaded question for me. My Kindle is smut. But on my nightstand, I actually have like a 42 tips to success. I have not read all of it yet, but I do like to, if I'm having like a day where I don't know where to go or point my energy for any type of business, I'll open it up to a random tip and go, all right, let's talk about that. Let's journal about that and see where that takes me.
So you mentioned something important. You also journal. So that's another avenue to kind of get some thoughts out as well.
I love journaling.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you got on the nightstand right now?
There's no books on my nightstand. But yeah, I've never been much of a reader, but I do listen to a lot of like podcasts and videos and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine. You see that makes me want to upgrade the question.
Yeah.
What are you listening to, or what are you reading?
Yeah.
So what are you? What's the
So-
podcast of choice these days?
Well, my favorite videos I like to watch are just other craftsmen.
Oh, cool.
Like even woodworkers, metal workers, blacksmiths, stuff like that. And I try to watch how they do things and see if I can't bring a little bit of what they do into mine, and if I can change this up or find an easier way to do things.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
That's
Smarter,
more,
not
that's
harder.
more, yeah.
Yeah.
The little tricks of the trade are really what I'm trying to learn
Awesome.
more all the time. So,
I'm continuously trying to get better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now this one is very personal. What would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about you, and how do you work through that?
That I'm easy. But
So right though. So they see your persona, but they don't know your name. They don't know your reality. They don't know
Right.
that you have a full-time job. They don't know that you're married.
right.
Right, things that you're sharing with us because those are part of your reality. But what they think is, you know,
I can
just
bag that one.
yeah, like I'll just wink at her.
Yeah.
And it's so that's a big misconception. How do you work through that? How do you know that that's the vibe that somebody might be giving you, and how do you just allow to, because it's very, you have to be transparent. How do you work through that?
I feel like as a woman, I'm used to being looked at like that, so it's gotten easier to be like, nah, I'm expensive, you can't afford it, I'm messy, and my husband takes care of me.
So you let
Yeah.
them know there's boundaries and you have
Absolutely.
your own life,
And
and
if
it's not
that
really
don't work,
like
then the
that.
block button does.
Sure. So most of it is through social media. and-
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you know what though, this brings up a good point. I want to ask you too, Joe. But if we can't in 2023, as grown men and women and people, have a conversation and celebrate people that do sex work in a way that's reality and actually celebrates not only her entrepreneurship but her leadership in leading from where she is in her position of life, then maybe the entire array that I've opened up with Chef Nikki, Dr. Pepe, Joe, and Buxom here today, then this maybe isn't a conversational venue for you. But this is the type of reality that what leadership and people go through. And I want to make that point out of respect for this conversation. How about you, Joe? What is the biggest misconception? Because I've seen people look at you at 4 a.m., right? So
Yeah.
I'm curious though, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Well, I would say probably they see the tattoos and the beard, and especially in the gym and stuff like that, that I'm probably unapproachable, or I'll attack you or something if you ask me a question or ask for help or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be the first one, definitely first one to help you if you asked, whether it be in the gym or outside of the gym. But yeah, just come ask. I am approachable.
Right.
It's just
So-
as her and my wife, yeah, teddy bear, yeah.
So there is no thick candy shell. You're just a genuine guy. This is how.
Yeah.
I want to bring something up. Shout out to Dr. Steve Cathcart. He works in HR. He was on last year, and we had the same conversation. We like really good sneakers. We like big watches, and we both have
Tattoos.
sleeves of tattoos.
Yeah.
We both have our doctorates. We
Yeah.
both have EDDs, and
Yeah.
people always look and go,
You've been to prison?
You have a doctorate. You know, tattoos have their own
Yeah.
stigmas, and those are a part of that conversation. Is what do people see, and do I know myself? And you guys obviously know yourself. So another point for leadership: who are you? You know, if you're gonna start to look at entrepreneurship that way, who are you? and can you be your brand? Because that's what we're learning today is you got to live it. Tell us about a time you failed at being a leader. And that leaves time for you to define what leadership means to you. So tell me about a time that happened to you.
So before I started any kind of sex work, I was in the belly dance world, and I helped manage and run a studio. And I feel like I failed as a leader in that studio by not communicating well with my other business partners, and saw it crumble.
So it was, you put your heart and soul into something and learned a lot about, so that goes all the way full circle. Tell me about challenges with your co-owner. You said, actually, we really know how to communicate. And what you're telling me here in that question is
We didn't know
we
how.
did not talk well with that. Yeah. Okay.
So learned lessons though.
Yeah.
So I may have failed at that as a leader, but I still took lessons away from it.
Sure, sure. So it's always moving forward in that process. How about you, Joe?
So mine would be more, because I'm the sole owner and worker in mine, I am my own leader pretty much, to where it's not just one failure, it's like little ones throughout the day. And it might be as small as, I slept in for 30 more extra minutes. I'd be okay, I'll get started then, or maybe I shouldn't have spent quite as much money on that tool. But just, making smart business decisions, being efficient with my time management, maybe slipping here and there on that would be little failures throughout the day, but I think that would apply to a lot of people.
Well, I think that she mentioned it also in the sense of, we got to look at color scheme. We got to post something today.
Failing to post,
you're just tired, or you just don't get to it, or man, that I really just wanted to buy that today.
Right.
And how does that?
I meant to text this guy back, or I meant to make
I
this
forgot
phone
to
call.
text him. Yeah.
Oh, I got to call him back tomorrow. So, yeah.
So it does. It adds up. It
Yeah.
starts to kind of add up on what you look at. But the cool part is like taking it from that leadership perspective. You reflected on it and realized, okay, these are the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
These are my puzzle pieces of getting where I need to be.
Yeah.
What's going to work. What is your definition of leadership? What does leadership look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like to you?
I think it's a listener, someone who's willing to learn and continue growing, and willing to take the steps needed to move forward.
And I think that going all the way back to the question that we had about younger generation, right? I think you touch on something there that makes you go, well, what we define in that build and what that looks like? Thank you. How about you, Joe?
I think it would be, is trying to be someone that you would look up to. So, and if you're going to be a leader and starting a business or anything, is if you say you're going to do it, do what you say you're going to do. Don't flake on it. Don't backstep on it. Do it. Set goals, even if they're just little goals. Set little goals and achieve them until they're done.
I love it. Thank you. All right. We have made it. We are here. We are at the last question, and this is my thank you to allow me to celebrate the both of you. But what thoughts or ideas do you want to leave the people who, from viewership that comes and watches the leader casts and actually comes to the Next Step Leadership page? What do you want to leave them with? What final thoughts or ideas what would you guys like to leave them with today?
I would say it's scary, but it's so worth it, and you can be so proud of yourself if you take those steps to be your own leader and just grow and listen to yourself. You have the answers, and listen to others and work with others and just do it. Literally just do it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah. Keep trying.
Thank you. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, and piggyback off of that is, don't look at the whole picture 5 years from now and get overwhelmed with it in the now.
I do all the time.
And I do it too. I look at the tons of orders, like, I got all this to do, but just take one little bullet point at a time, cross it off, and write it down physically,
Yes.
and physically cross it off. It's very satisfying. So, and just go both feet in and don't stop. Just keep doing it.
Keep coming, keep
Yep.
trying.